Then, the debate over fracking. Natural gas has been touted as a great source of lower-cost energy, but have the environmental impacts been understated? We'll hear from both sides in a debate, one day before an anti-fracking protest here in Washington.
From News Channel 8, this is News Talk with Bruce DuPoit.
Thanks for staying with us here on News Talk. Bruce DuPoit with you on this Friday. Natural gas is touted as a clean alternative to other forms of energy, but critics say the environmental costs haven't received the scrutiny they deserve. An anti-fracking protest will be held tomorrow here in Washington. Joining us now here in the studio is former Dish, Texas Mayor Calvin Tillman. He'll be taking part in tomorrow's rally. Good to have you with us. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you, Bruce.
With us via Skype from Dallas, Chris Faulkner. He is CEO of Breitling Oil and Gas. Welcome to you both. Mr. Faulkner, thanks very much for being with us today via Skype. Mr. Tillman, Mayor Tillman, let me begin with you. What is fracking?
Fracking is a way that they release the gas from the shale formations. They use a mixture of water and various chemicals and silica sand to open up the shale, and it releases gas through that process. In Dish, Texas actually was in the general area where the slick water fracturing was actually developed, and so we've dealt with it for a tremendous amount of time. We were one of the original areas where this began, and so we've had a lot of experience with it.
And what concerns do you have about it today?
Well, we have some of the concerns are that the oil and gas industry is exempted from several of our environmental laws. They've been given loopholes to get around those, and we would like to have those closed. We would like to protect our environment as much as we can, protect our water, protect our air, protect our family's health.
Is fracking inherently dangerous?
I think that it's an inherently dangerous process that has to be tightly regulated if it's going to be successful without negatively impacting the neighbors of the operations.
Chris Faulkner, you're an expert in this area. It's your livelihood. It's what your company does. Talk to us about the process for obtaining natural gas, and if you would address some of the concerns that have been expressed here and that folks may have heard prior to today.
You bet. Well, Mr. Tillman did a good job describing what the process of fracking is. It is 90% fresh water, it's 9.5% sand, and a small amount of 0.5% of the mix is chemical, which acts as a lubricant to get the sand into the formation when we break it open to unlock the trapped natural gas in the case of the area of Dish, Texas, where the Barnett Shale is located at. Obviously, there have been concerns from environmentalists, from folks who have said that, fracking is not safe. The first well was fracked in Kansas in 1941. 1.2 million wells have been fracked in the United States since that time. We're fracking 2 miles beneath water aquifers, so one, contamination of that aquifer is very difficult to understand how impermeable and no porosity rock has the ability to connect to an aquifer. Now, again, I will say that any task that a human is performing, I think there's risk with that. I'm not here to say everyone is perfect and there hasn't been some bad seeds in the bunch, but as an industry, as a procedure, as a whole, I think 100% that fracking is safe.
We've heard about water that can be set on fire. We've heard about concerns about what happens when you really shake the earth in a profound way, what some of the impacts of that are. Address some of the concerns people have, because I think a lot of us are drawn to natural gas. We see it as an alternative here in the Washington area. We have buses zipping around, pardon me, that advertise themselves as clean, cleaner than diesel, cleaner than other forms of energy, and we like that notion. So I think a lot of people are favorably disposed to natural gas, but we don't want to look the other way if there are big-time concerns.
Absolutely, and I'm not here to say we should do anything that's not safe or safe for our citizens or our environment. You are right. Natural gas burns cleaner than coal, less greenhouse gas emissions. It's a great transportation fuel for trucks, for vehicles, long-haul trains and buses. All those things make a lot of sense with natural gas, and we have a great abundance of it. One of America's greatest gifts this century is natural gas. I can tell you that as far as lighting your water faucet on fire, Josh Fox in his movie Gasland was made recklessly. He made a lot of misstatements. The Colorado Oil and Gas Commission in 2008 disproved the fact that lighting your water faucet on fire had anything to do with fracking. In fact, since 1931, in the area that Josh Fox interviewed those folks, there have been reports that the water faucets could have been lit on fire from associated methane or biogenic methane that's naturally occurring in the ground in shallow deposits in that area. So now for the last 80 years, folks have gone and been able to light their water faucets on fire. Even children have said they used to run to school early in the morning and get to the water fountain to light it on fire in a way that they thought it was a neat trick. That had nothing to do with fracking. However, I think that now the association of that image is now embedded in folks' minds against fracking.
Have the critics overstated the concerns? Have they gamed it? Have they gamed the debate?
You know, I don't believe so. And, you know, you talk about the things like people being able to light their water on fire. I've heard from the industry on a number of occasions that there's lots of places where natural gas drilling is not going on that people can light their water on fire. And I've traveled around the United States to affected communities, and the only place that I've seen this kind of stuff is in areas where natural gas drilling is going on. And, you know, in the movie Gasland, it wasn't just in Colorado where they were able to light their water on fire. He showed a number of different locations where that happens. And I think the point is that the industry needs to recognize that there is human factors involved in this, and there is mistakes going to be made. This is a very, very delicate process, and it needs to be done right. It needs to be regulated.
Talk about tomorrow's rally.
So tomorrow, we're having a rally at the Capitol. It's called Stop the Frack Attack. People are coming from around the United States to join us there to ask our legislatures, ask Congress to close the loopholes that the oil and gas industry have been given.
Mr. Faulkner, I'll give you the last word. Any final thoughts on where we should go from here, given that this country has enormous energy needs, and we're always looking to kind of make the best choices, us as individuals, our you know, government leaders, etc. What thoughts do you have about the best path forward?
Well, the best path forward for America is to continue exploring and producing natural gas and oil in a safe manner. It's an important part of our country. It empowers our country at every level. Now, and I think as an industry, we're doing a great job putting America on the road to energy independence. And one thing I do want to say is that fracking is already regulated by every state body. The Texas Railroad Commission regulates fracking down here in Texas and in Dish, Texas, where Mr. Tillman is from. So this is not a cowboy, do what you want, reckless industry. We have regulation at every single level, and we take great pride in the fact that technology is driving this industry at a level that it never has in the past, and safety is our #1 concern. So sure, are mistakes going to be made? Yes. Anything a human touches has risk, but I can tell you overall this procedure is safe, and the industry is doing a great job managing exploration and production of these natural resources for America's benefit.
Chris Faulkner is CEO of Breitling Oil and Gas. He's been joining us via Skype from Dallas. Calvin Tillman is the former mayor of Dish, Texas. Thank you very much for coming in and spending some time with us today.